Mastering weight loss, beyond diet and exercise. People usually think that losing weight is half diet and half exercise, but both combined make up only about 25%. Another 25% is good quality sleep, and the other 50% is actually doing what you said you would do, thankfully, if you were to start a diet. Right now, there is an easy way to make it almost impossible to fail. The first step is to get inspired. There is always a spark that makes you decide you want to change, and it is usually seeing someone else who is much fitter than you or seeing yourself in a picture. Either way, inspiration is strong but only lasts for a day and then it is gone. So what you need next is a realistic goal that you can measure as well as the time you need to achieve it. For example, I'm going to lose 5 pounds by July 1st and another 5 pounds by August 1st is something you can measure and even has a checkpoint to keep you motivated. Then the next thing you need is a detailed and realistic plan that will get you to your goal. The plan could simply be to replace your daily breakfast of granola with sweetened milk and a peanut butter jelly sandwich with a 1-mile jog followed by a plate of 15 baked strawberries and 3 hard-boiled eggs. Believe it or not, this change is more than enough for you to lose multiple pounds of fat in just a few weeks. But having the plan is not enough. You need to set everything up so that you can easily follow the plan. You have to buy the strawberries and boil the eggs the night before, and lay out your running clothes so that when you wake up, the easiest thing you can do to follow the plan is if you don't boil the eggs and you keep buying peanut butter and grape jelly, and you keep putting them in the front of the fridge where it comes first. You see, then that means that you don't actually intend to follow your diet. You are just waiting for that day when you give in and make your high-calorie breakfast again. If you want to make it easy to eat healthy, then do it. It's hard to eat junk food, of course. That's easy to see. But no matter how hard you try to avoid even looking at junk food, you have to expect that there will be tough moments, like when you accidentally trip and fall face first into a boot that I hope you see every item has over 1,000 calories and you're tempted to say 5 of the most dangerous words in the history of dieting. You can choose from any of the following options. A cheat meal won't hurt you. B. In fact, I'm going to start dieting tomorrow. C. I'm just not going to eat later. Or D. Maybe I'll just start bulking up. In times like this, you need willpower, which is the ability to tell yourself no. You can build your willpower by anticipating all the excuses you're going to make and practice saying no to all of them. You can even practice walking away from bad decisions. But keep in mind that willpower isn't infinite, so you can't always rely on it. You're better off avoiding the temptation in the first place. Finally, the real cheat code for motivation is to do something for so long that it becomes a habit. If you can get to the point where you wake up and automatically go for a run, and automatically reach for the strawberries and hard-boiled eggs, then the plan becomes 100 times easier to follow and will continue to get easier each day that you do it. Over time, you may even start to like eating healthy and working out, at which point, like for many other people, it is no longer a lifestyle choice but your entire personality. And this is the ultimate goal. Anyways, let's get on to the basics of fat loss. There is no really accurate way to track besides progress pictures and weighing yourself once a week to see progress pictures. Just know that you won't see much change in the first few weeks, maybe not even the first few months, because your body first prioritizes losing fat in places you probably can't see. But once you start seeing visual progress, it starts to become noticeable more and more quickly. So to really measure your progress, you need to weigh yourself. Yourself maybe once every morning. Just know that it could fluctuate a lot based on water weight or the types of foods you eat, meaning you might lose a pound of fat, but your weight might not change right away. So instead of looking at your day-to-day progress, just look at your average week-to-week progress. So you've probably heard that to lose fat. Over time, you should eat less calories than you burn. That means if your body burns 2,000 calories a day, then eating 1,700 calories per day will do it. Losing fat is because the body will use energy from fat and a tiny bit of muscle to help cover the 300-calorie deficit. And if you drop your calories even further to 1,500 or even 12,200 per day, you will lose fat more quickly, but at the cost of making it much harder for you to stick to the traditional optimal way of working out how many calories you should be consuming. Using an online calorie calculator, sedentary activity level, and then eating around this number every day as a starting point to lose weight. But it's worth noting that this number can be way off as everyone has a different metabolism, and it can be especially off for people with hormonal issues. So the best way to know for sure is to start with this number and then see how your weight changes over the next few weeks. If you find that each week your weight doesn't change, then you need to cut back on your daily calories by about 200, 300 more. And if you ever get to a point where you haven't lost weight for at least a week. If you're American, you might not be familiar with the metric system, but you don't have to worry since the McDonald's menu already has calorie counts anyway. You can also get away with roughly estimating your calories, but this only works if you play it safe and round everything like crazy. If you think it's 300 calories, it's probably 500. If you think it's 800 calories, it's probably 1,000. And if you think it's too small to count, it's probably at least 50. So before we get into the method where you don't need to track anything at all, we need to talk about macronutrients. A lot of people want to know how much protein, carbs, and fat they should be eating per day. And to be honest, for most weight loss purposes, all you need to look at is calories and protein. You need a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of fat, and then you can be full. On the rest of your calories with anything, just make sure you don't overeat the fats like oil, sauté, salad dressings, butter, nuts, and cheese. Because while they are healthy in moderate amounts, fats have 9 calories per gram, which means that a packet of trail mix has about 3 times the calories of a dying neutron star. Also, if you've ever heard weight loss experts say that carbs cause weight gain, they're not talking about fruits, vegetables, fiber, and whole grains. They're talking about highly processed refined carbs that are usually very delicious and have most, if not all, of their nutrients stripped away when they're processed, especially foods with a lot of added sugars. Here are a few examples. You'll notice that this is basically the entire supermarket. The problem with these is that they are abnormally delicious, easy to overeat, have a lot of calories, and end up making you hungrier. Of course, you can still consume them every day and you will still lose weight if you are in a calorie deficit. That is why some people like to brag that they can eat a family-sized box of Reese's Puffs every day and still lose weight. What they don't tell you is that they have an empty stomach for 23 hours a day. Their blood tests come back with just a giant crying emoji, and simply adding milk to their cereal takes them out of a calorie deficit, so they have to use water, and that brings us to the method of how to lose fat without counting calories. Trick number 1 is to simply slowly start eating more minimally processed foods. Avoid chips, sugary desserts, and products with lots of refined carbs, instead swapping them for fruits, vegetables, lean dairy, lean protein, healthy fats, and whole grains. You will find that these foods are so filling and nutritious that you can eat more than just milk. In a calorie deficit every day without having to feel so hungry, if you don't believe me that's 200 calories, you're probably less likely to open a 200-calorie bag of chips. So here are some tips. Number 1, lift weights. This will not only boost your metabolism, but it will burn calories and help you build muscle. You can use this website for workout ideas. Number 2, walk more. Take at least 10,000 steps a day. It's basically a cheat code to burning extra calories and losing fat. Number 3, do more cardio, while diet is more important than exercise for fat loss. Cardio will make it easier for you if you find this boring. You can try high-intensity interval training, or if you want, you can do circuit-style workouts you can find plenty of on YouTube. Some fellow gym goers like to claim that 15-minute workouts on YouTube don't work, but remember they watch hours-long videos of other people working out. Number 4, be less sedentary. Not many people talk about this because it's hard to explain, but getting up, moving around, and just doing stuff throughout the day burns a lot more calories than you think. This includes activities that you don't normally consider exercise, like climbing the stairs, cleaning the house, pressure washing the driveway, cooking, fidgeting, standing, walking, carrying groceries, and touching the grass. Basically anything except sitting or laying in bed. Lastly, one fat loss tip that everyone thinks doesn't apply to them is getting a good night's sleep. Sleep regulates your hormones. And when it comes to fat loss, these hormones pretty much determine everything now. You might be thinking, well, I don't have to worry about that. I already sleep well anyway. Please donate to us. Subscribe to fund the next video.